Hi, my name is Jarong from the ICANN Asia Pacific Hub. Welcome to our office here in Singapore. While we are unable to join you at your event today, we are very happy to meet with you here. Today, we are going to share with you how the internet works and why you and I need to be involved in internet governance. Now, let's head over to our meeting room to meet with our colleagues Kelvin and Philadelphia.
Hi, I'm Kelola,
And I'm Kelvin.
and we're here to help you understand what goes on behind the scenes when you type in an address in your browser.
As some of you may know, the Internet is a global system of interconnected computer networks, where computers can find one another around the world, sending the information you need across thousands of miles in a matter of milliseconds. To reach a website, you will generally need to type in a domain name, such as this one. When you type this into your browser, your computer or device turns it into an Internet Protocol or IP address, which is really a series of numbers. They are like the postal code to your actual home address. These IP addresses direct you to the website's physical location, so that the information on the web page can be delivered back to you. Therefore, domain names and IP addresses are part of the Internet's domain name system, or DNS, that forms the underpinnings of the Internet.
As the internet is a network of networks managed by different people, there are a number of steps involved for your computer to eventually find the actual web server housing the website you are looking for. The technical name of this process is called DNS resolution, which is not unlike a referral process. I will try to walk you through this process as simply as I can.
Now let's see if you can also do this in under 1 minute.
Okay, first of all, after you key in the domain name in your browser, your computer has to ask someone what is the address of, say, www.icann.org. This question generally goes to the DNS server of your Internet Service Provider, or ISP, who will then help you find its IP address. If this is the first time it sees this request, it might not know the answer, but it knows who to go to for help, the DNS server of the top-level root zone, which can give it the IP address of the ORG domain name server, who is then able to further lead you to the icann.org name server, who knows the IP address of www.icann.org. This IP address is then returned to your computer to reach www.icann.org. All of the above is done in a fraction of a second, which is really quite amazing. The next time you reach for the same address, the DNS server of your ISP will remember the IP address, and you can then reach ICANN's website directly.
You will notice that domain names and IP addresses are very important for computers to find one another on the Internet. Two computers in two separate locations cannot share the same IP address or domain name. This is why ICANN plays an important function by coordinating these unique identifier systems. Equally important is the aspect of security, stability, and resiliency. While ICANN's role here is to ensure that the domain name system is able to manage the entire world's internet traffic, as well as withstand malicious attacks on our networks.
To coordinate all this, all stakeholders around the world need to be part of this coordination process to ensure that the Internet's domain name system remains a single, secure, and interoperable one. This is what we call the multi-stakeholder model, where the stakeholders, including civil society and internet users, the private sector, national and international organizations, governments, academia, and technical communities, come together at ICANN 3 times a year to discuss key issues relating to the domain name system.
Some recent developments at ICANN include the expansion of the domain name system to introduce over 1,300 new generic top-level domains, which will create more space for the next billion people coming online to have their very own domain names. These new generic top-level domains also expands into non-Latin based characters, as you can see here. Now these developments will help to cater to non-English speaking communities, for them to come online, allowing for a truly multilingual internet.
If you belong to any one of these groups, we hope to have you join us at ICANN to be part of the conversation.
Thank you, Kelvin and Philadelphia. Now, I would like to share with you a few thoughts on the topic of internet governance. As you may know, the internet is a network of networks. So no one person, organization, or company runs the internet. The internet architecture consists of 3 layers. At the bottom is the infrastructure layer, which is the connection cables and mobile networks that we are familiar with. At the topmost is the non-technical layer, which is the content we see on our websites and applications. Kelvin and Philida has shared with you how the domain name system works. And that function, where computers find one another on the internet, comes under the technical layer. ICANN is one of the many organizations that works alongside others, such as the Internet Engineering Task Force, which sets standards for how computers talk to one another under this layer. All stakeholders at the various layers of the internet architecture have a role in ensuring the internet's openness, security, and reliability so that it continues to benefit all of us. Every one of us has a role to play, be it to contribute to awareness building, setting policies, standards, or best practices. As no one stakeholder or stakeholder group can dominate such decisions, this has so far preserved the internet's openness and allows us to keep pace with technological advancements and innovation. It is also the internet's openness that has allowed it to impact us the way it did. In fact, the internet economy has been growing at a rate of 15 to 20% a year, and is projected to grow to $4.2 trillion by the year 2016. Even more relevant are figures for Asia, with 1.2 billion users, and more than 60% of these users having bought something online. 1/3 of global e-commerce comes from our region, and this figure is set to grow to 42.5% by 2016. With almost half of the world's internet population already in this region, we can be considered the world's largest internet stakeholder. However, we are also the least vocal. We need to express our concerns and interests to shape the internet's future, and we need to do it together. I look forward to hearing the conversations you are going to have today.